I spent 20 days in Mexico this year. And if I could, run the tape back and do this trip all over again, here are 7 things I wish I knew beforehand. Numero uno. Mexico kind of has this reputation for being dirt cheap. One, that's a problematic phrase, but also it's not really that true. This is very specific to what city you're going to and what activities. That might sound like it's common sense, but the way people talk about, oh, Mexico is so cheap and everything is this, that, and the third. You have to remember this is also a very highly populated, not populated, but a highly visited place by Americans, and that's going to drive the price up. So it's not that cheap. That's going to be very depending on when you're going. More than likely, the places that you're likely going to go if it's your first time in Mexico, the Cancuns, the Cabos, the Mexico cities, those are the places that you're usually going to go, and those are definitely not cheap, okay? So make sure you really plan what you're going to be doing ahead of time before you head over there thinking that everything about to be $1 and it's $300, okay? Speaking of money, Mexico still deals with a lot of cash, so this is not a place where you think you're about to just use straight up cards and credit cards. You definitely want to have a good amount of cash on you. I always bring USD with me and then exchange as I need when I'm in a country. I like exchange a little bit at the airport if it's like a very low or 0% like interest or fee, and then as I go, I don't go ahead and exchange every USD bill that I have, but just enough. Number 3, even though Mexico is like the most visited country by Americans, not everybody speaks English. Shocker! So please do not be that ignorant person upset that everybody doesn't speak English when you go there. Learn a little bit of Spanish, because at most you should be able to communicate what it is you're asking. If you know a couple words here and there, like puedes ayudarme, no entiendo, tú hablas inglés. Like, there's a couple of things you can learn to try to get what you need communicated. But do not be that ignorant ass person, specifically my Americans out there, because we can be very ignorant. I'm speaking for us. That gets upset when people don't understand you. You in their country. Do not sleep on ADO. It is one of the most efficient and cleanest and fastest forms of transportation in Mexico. I used it a couple times when I was like in Cancun, getting to the other cities. When I went from Oaxaca to Ciudad de Mexico, I will rep ADO all the time. And if you don't want to get exploited by cab drivers when you get to the Cancun airport, that's trying to take you 10 minutes away for $500, get on ADO. Even if you don't book anything ahead, they're so efficient because there's so many buses that are running all day. I didn't have anything pre-booked. A lot of stuff I booked when I was on ADO was like the same day, if not like, okay, I pulled up and I need the closest one. So make sure that you are not feeling like, oh my God, I don't want to get in public transportation because I don't know about public transportation, I'm unsafe. Everybody, all tourists use it, all local people use it. It's very safe, it's very efficient. You can have a big bag and your personal bag. It's so efficient and it's very affordable. Okay, get the ADO app or just ADO kiosk and bus stops all over Mexico, baby. It's so easy and so efficient to use. I cannot recommend that enough. Every time I go to Mexico, if needed, I will be using ADO if I need to transfer from one city to the next. This also might be a shocker, but the entire city is not, the entire country of Mexico is not this tropical place that is hot all year round. There are times when I was in Mexico City, people had on like full on coats. I didn't think it was cold enough for a coat, but it was pretty cold, but the day was hot as hell. So keep in mind what time of the year you're going. Because it may not always be this hot place where you laid out with your bikini and, naked on the beach or whatever. Most of the, tourist destinations like Chichen Itza, Grutas de Longa, Agua, those are not going to be anywhere near the city. So that is going to be at least a half a day trip, if not a full day trip. So you're going to need to get your ass up early in the morning. Yeah, I know you want to go on vacation so you can party with the Mexicans because they do know how to get down. But baby, if you want to go to these Chichen Itzas and all that, it's best to either just like take 2 days where you are staying in a city that's very, very close. So the morning when you do go, you're not so far. Or have that whole day just for the activity, because by the time you take 2 hours to travel to that destination, spend your time at that destination, and then 2 hours back, you're going to be exhausted and you're not going to have time to do nothing else. I don't care what nobody says, you're going to be exhausted, honey. Because a lot of it is bus. And the buses and the roads be bumpy as hell. These ain't gonna be no smooth 2 hour rides, baby. You gonna be busting your head up all up on them bus insides and chairs and whatnot. So if you're going to the popular Mexican tourist spots, that's your whole day for that one activity. I'm telling you. Okay, this is from experience. Ain't no, okay, we're gonna do this activity, then we're gonna do this next one, then we're gonna hit the club. It ain't happening. Now, last but definitely not least, specifically in the Cancun-ish, Tulum-ish areas, you may come in contact with corrupt police. So the best bet is to play dumb as much as you possibly can. And this is when it's very important to know a little bit of Spanish, because they're able to exploit you because you don't speak Spanish. So they're able to just come up with anything and pull anything out of their ass and fine you for whatever. Definitely be safe. Don't try to like fight the police or be like too strong on, because they obviously don't give a F about no damn tourist's life. That's for sure. But if you come across corrupt police, this is the time now to learn a little bit of Spanish, or try to hide your money as much as possible, or not carry as much, because they can't steal what you don't have. Have fun in Mexico. Ciao, ciao.